Hey everybody, welcome to the round 21 preview. Carlton and the Brisbane Lions at the Gabba on Sunday. It's going to be a 3:20 p.m. bounce for me or for us here in Victoria, and I'm super excited to finally get rid of the thoughts of round 20. Doesn't need to be said how disappointing a loss it was. I think if anything, the strangest part of it all was the reaction to it. Almost as if the season was over and that's it. It's hard to make finals, and the rhetoric around the supporter group and I think general media was one I just didn't resonate with. I didn't feel the need to panic. I don't feel the need to panic. At the end of the day, we had 4 games to win 1 to clinch a spot. We've now got 3, and there's just no better way to clinch a finals spot than against one of the next 3 teams. You know, the Lions, I think there's just this fear of things that have happened in the past and failings of the past maybe rearing their head. But I just think it's unfair because this group all season long have been good. They've been really good. They haven't been great, and great is where we're still moving towards. But for the most part, they've been good. In every single loss that we've had, we've been able to come out the next week and respond. I don't know. Maybe I've just learnt the art of patience, and maybe my patience will run out if we lose 4 in a row and not make finals. But until then, I'm going to remain calm, and I would hope and suggest that the rest of us do as well. I don't think we need panicky energy out there. It's not going to serve anyone, and at times I don't even think it's about the football when I see it. But it is what it is. People are emotional. People are highly strung because they care, and that's the one thing that needs to be remembered at all times. Now, as well as the loss last week, you know, the situation with the injury seemed to rear its head again. After calling on some good luck, it seems like we got the exact opposite of that. Corey Durden is going to miss. I'll just go through it right now as the club updated. He was subbed out. He's going to be unavailable. He hurt his shoulder when he was tackled. Nick Newman was a really innocuous but really unfortunate injury. It was a cut to the front of his knee. He's expected to be unavailable for the remainder of the home and away season, which is really unlucky and disappointing. Matt Kennedy was the other one. If you look at it again, it was a really sickening collision. It's just really unfortunate because he's a really important cog in what we do, particularly when you think about George Hewitt still not being available. So all of a sudden, the midfield bulls are reduced by 2. You know, Hewitt and Kennedy, I think you can afford to miss 1, but maybe not 2. So we're going to need to shuffle things around a little bit. We know that Zach Williams won't be available. We know that Liam Stocker, unfortunately, won't be available because of the concussion he suffered in the VFL game, which is really disappointing because I was thinking immediately Newman goes out, Stocker comes in. So there are some things to work around. And look, to be honest, every time we've had a situation like this season where it seemingly is a disaster because X player is out and this player's out, and where our backs have been, quote unquote, against the wall, we've found a way to find something. And I expect nothing less this week. Now, the Lions, I've got total respect for them. I look at them as a top 4 side, bona fide. I think they're great at home. They're tough. They're tenacious. They're thick. They've developed so well. They've come such a long way. And really at one point, if you go back to, 2018, 2019, we were kind of right there with them in terms of the early development. They've clearly gone miles ahead of us in their development. At this point, hopefully we can catch them and surpass them at some stage. But yeah, it's just, as much as I respect them, I don't fear them. I really do believe that we have the ability to win this game. This is an amazing sport in that any team can beat any other team on any given day. And I think if we come out with the right application and if we come out with that hunt mentality, I think we can take it right to them and get a win. I genuinely believe it. I really look forward to seeing what our first quarter looks like. I think after last week there was a real anger and a real, want to understand how we can have so many missed tackles and how we can not be as switched on and focused. But I expect that to be the total opposite this week because I think there's an innate understanding that If we bring that type of intensity to the Lions at the Gabba on Sunday, it's going to be ugly. It's going to be 10, 11 goals plus. You can't afford to go to Brisbane and expect to do anything if you're going to be laying 23 missed tackles. So I think that just comes down to a focus. When I think about this season and I think about games where the focus has been really dialed in, I think about the Sydney game at Marvel. I think about the Fremantle game at Marvel as well. And if we can bring that intensity, I don't see any reason why we can't, leave there with the result. And also it's the build-up. And I touched on this on Monday. We've kind of protected them a little bit, talking about finals and playing it 1 week at a time. I mean, we win this week and we clinch a spot. I'm pretty sure that's what the situation is. I'm pretty sure. I thought it was 12 wins. I've now come to learn that it's 13 wins to clinch a spot, no questions asked. So it is. Look, we're so close. We're so close, and it would be a real celebration if we can just get that next win. And when is it going to come? I don't know. I do believe it's coming. I have total faith that it's coming. And the reason why I have faith that it's coming is because of what I've seen this season. This group are different. It is a different group to what we've seen in the past. So it's a potential opportunity to really, celebrate something that we haven't been able to do in a long time. And I guess, I'm always really curious about motivation levels and what makes people tick. Are you motivated by that notion of the carrot dangling on the stick in front of you that you're chasing towards, or are you motivated by the fear of, the lion catching you from behind? In our case, I genuinely think our group at this stage play on fear. I don't know. I mean, they've shown different motivation levels at various points of the season this year. I think that has something to do with the fact that it's the new group and the change that had swept through the club. And, obviously a clean slate and wanting to prove themselves. So when we do see notions of comfort, like what we thought we saw last week, it just makes me wonder what are the motivation levels of the group, and what are the stories? And this is where the art of coaching comes into it. Like, what is Vossi telling them? What is the narrative that he's coming up with this week to get them up and about? I'm really curious to know that. It's probably something we'll never will know, because there are certain things that stay within the four walls. But yeah, there needs to be a hardness to this group. And the beauty of the next few weeks, well, look, forget about Collingwood and Melbourne for a moment. The beauty of this week right now is that you're going to get a finals type intensity. The Lions are going to come out really hard because they're a hardened team. They tackle with serious intent. And, it's just an opportunity for us to, reveal the truth. The truth of who's good enough to stand up in these moments and who's not. And the ones that are not, well, they're going to have to work on it, or I don't know what happens. But I'm just trying to think as much as possible about it in the most practical way. I just don't think we need to feel with too much emotion in this sense, because we're in this process. I'm very much dialed into the process of what this is. Nonetheless, finals is a must. We've got to get there because we've gotten so close. It would be, I don't even know if this needs to be said, but it would be, very disappointing if we didn't make it from here. So it's more about the opportunity of what could be, which is what I hope motivates the group this week. And I'm sure they will. I have no doubt about the character of this group because they've shown it all year. And I expect that. Now, with the selection, that's an interesting conversation. I would guess, because I've got no idea, I would guess Paddy Dow's going to come in because, when you're missing Hewitt and Kennedy, I think Paddy Dow, naturally has been playing in that inside midfield role for the majority of the season. I think that this is going to be his opportunity, whether it's him or Fogarty, or if it's him and Fogarty remains to be seen. I wonder if Brodie Kemp gets his spot back in the side. I know Newman's out. I don't know if we're going to have to be creative or not. So there's that situation. Then there's Jack Martin. I mean, for me personally, it's like, I can understand we're trying to build him into the end of the year. Well, we are now here at the end of the year. We are now playing finals football in my mind. These are all very much elimination type atmospheres. Without being an actual final, I do feel like we are entering this phase of the season and this phase of the competition and this phase of the development of the group where we're playing in bona fide matches that determine whether or not we're going to survive the season or not. So, I mean, I want Jack Martin in the side. We need him to be at anywhere close to our best. And then, Jack Silvani, I don't know if last week was just a bit of a test, or, Vossi did mention in his press conference that they were looking to try some things. I don't know if that's going to be the case this week. And then there's the ruck tandem, TDK, Pitto. Do you give it another week? Do you try it again, knowing that it's Pitto's second game back? But we need more from that whole tandem. We need a complete lift across the board, and I look forward to seeing what they're going to dish up. It's a Sunday Arvo game. There's going to be a lot of eyeballs on the game. That everyone but Carlton supporters are probably going to be rooting for us to lose. So what an opportunity it is to watch them really stick it to everyone else. And I guess now that we've entered this patch of the season, I'm really feeling a different energy about it. I'm really pumped up. I'm really, I really unsettled, because I'm just looking forward to the response. And, the fear starts creeping into the back of the mind. And, I just want us to hold firm. I want us to make sure that we get the job done, get into the finals. Then we can start focusing on the next phase of this group. Because I think the most important thing that this group needs is finals football experience. These games are somewhat like that, but we just got to get there. We're inching towards a premiership. That's what it's all about. That's why you play. That's why we support. That's why we hang on. I genuinely believe the reason why we hang on, or the reason why I hang on so much, so deeply, is because I just want to see a premiership from start to finish, from round one all the way to grand final day, and kind of go from there. So again, massive opportunity. Those are my thoughts on the game. I'm bloody pumped up. What about you? How are you feeling about this week? Have you been able to put some perspective on what happened over, the week? And, have you lost total confidence still, or have you got it back? Let us know in the comments below what you think about the situation, and we'll go from there.